In this last video, we're going to look at the application of mind maps, or how to use mind maps in the classroom. Now remember, mind maps are all about developing skills and teaching patterns. So the first way that a mind map can be used is you can use mind maps for teaching. And this is when you want to establish a skill. So when introducing a new skill for learners, you can introduce it through a mind map. Possibly you do it on the board or the whiteboard, the overhead projector, it doesn't matter how you do it, but you use the mind map to introduce a topic or content or a skill. Next is learning with mind maps. And here learners can be given the mind maps to practice a skill. So they've been introduced to the skill, and now this activity will focus on reinforcing the skill for the learner. Here they are able to practice it. And remember to do this through different degrees of independence. You might want to help them and give quite a bit of support and assistance in the beginning and give them multiple opportunities. And then towards the end, you make sure that they are trying to do the skill a bit more on their own. Another way to use mind maps in the classroom is for assessing. And here you want to demonstrate or watch the application of the skill by the learner. So the first step is to establish the skill, and you do this through teaching with a mind map. Then learners are given an opportunity to work with the mind map by themselves to reinforce the skill or thinking pattern. And then learners can again be given a mind map for assessing the skill and how well that they can apply it. And this obviously leads to formal assessment. So how do we go about using mind maps in the classroom? You can use them as an introductory activity, such as before starting a history content or section, you can choose one of the characters and ask them to research them, such as describe Nelson Mandela. And then each arm of the star is some characteristic of Nelson Mandela. You can use the mind maps as a teaching activity, and this can be done as a whole class, in pairs, or in groups. And an example of this is to compare Nelson Mandela to Mahatma Gandhi. And again, they go off and do research, or you give them the information, and they need to complete the mind map in making a comparison between Mandela and Gandhi. And lastly, we look at how mind maps can be used as an assessment activity, and more so as an informal assessment activity. Because remember, teachers should constantly be doing informal assessment to see how much their learners are understanding. And a mind map is an excellent way, as it clearly demonstrates what the learner understands, what they've grasped, or what they still need to work on. And at the same time as understanding the content, they are learning such an important skill and training their brains to think on a higher cognitive level and develop these thought patterns. This now brings us to the end of our course on how to use mind maps in the classroom. And we really hope that you have enjoyed this course, you've learned something new, and you hope to implement something different in your classroom tomorrow.